Germany should stand on its sovereign right to not have these weapons on its territory. But Germany has become, like the rest of Europe, an extremely submissive partner of the United States. Also, a country that accepted without any protest that Nord Stream was destroyed. A country that does not stand up for its sovereignty, but accepts being used for in somebody else's game, even by a partner called the United States, is tragic, to say the least, in my word. I'm ashamed of being a European with Germany leading this. I remember when Germany was a force for peace with Willy Brandt, and the Ostpolitik, the idea of confidence building with the other side. Not that we were supposed to love the Russians, but we were supposed to have a stable relationship and talk to each other. That's what has been cancelled now by these very narrow-minded, childish politicians who cut off everything because they didn't like what happened in Ukraine. We are neighbors. We got to talk with each other instead of killing each other. We are thinking security and defense in the wrong way. And the wrongness of it is that most countries say my security, our security, is created by being able to kill people far away on the other side. No, we don't have the intention to do so. But if need be, we will be able to. That's what it's all about. Nuclear weapons, because nobody wants to use them on their own territory. And that's what about long-range missiles. The whole thing is wrong, because if you know that you can be killed thousands of kilometers away, then you cannot feel secure. This is why the Olof Palme Commission on Common Security, also in the 80s, came up with a simple idea. I am only secure if you feel secure with me. If you threaten me, and if you're able to mass murder 100 million people on my side, even though you say you don't have the intention to, then there will never be stability. There will never be a deep security, and there will never be peace. And that's where we are today in Europe. This theory fundamentally, and most countries have these weapons, stop having long-range, mass destructive weapons, have defensive weapons. Your deterrence should be in the sense that if somebody tries to encroach upon you, to get to your territory, to dominate you, then you have a perfect resistance and self-defense system, but you're not able to kill somebody else far away. I mean, this whole thing is bizarre. We create a security or defense system by long-range missiles and nuclear weapons, and then we sit down and have discussions about how to get rid of them. I mean, the whole thing is absurd. And the whole thing is counterproductive, absurd, and utterly stupid, because there will never be peace that way. The final thing I would say is start out and make peace and then secure it. Whereas all the people now in NATO and everywhere around the world are saying, let's create security by the wrong types of weapons and more armament and more weapons and more long-range weapons, and then we think there'll be peace. That is why, in conclusion, NATO is a total intellectual and moral disaster. It should be abolished because it builds on the totally wrong concepts. Whereas the 5 principles for peaceful coexistence that was developed 70 years ago by China and India is so much more intelligent and so much more correct if you want a road to peace. And that's a huge division in the international community, that the Western NATO alliance is built on the wrong principles. We have to change that in the new multipolar world.